2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Kinesphere for me was the idea of collective, of group, of synergy, of exchange, of involvement at a small level, at a very intricate level, and then stemming from very minuscule exchange, the sort of exponential effect, the ripple effect of how a greater change is produced. So that's a metaphor, I guess, a social metaphor for the way that we all interact and affect each other. But in a laboratory way, we saw that happen in terms of starting from the absence of something and moving into a place of creation, generation, of event.
Artie and I had dreamed for a very long time about collaborating, bringing musicians and dancers together, and recognizing and celebrating the fact that the arts and music transcends our differences, whether it's difference in language, cultural ways, the color of our skins, that it unites us. And what a great way to have youth experience this, and also to celebrate their creativity and their voices by working with two experts, professionals in their field, to create a work that's uniquely theirs.
Part of the proposal, the project proposal to begin with, was the idea of involving the students creatively, so that's a structure would be produced that was a reflection of all of the people, the young people that were implicated in the process.
We really saw the Cultural Olympiad as a way that we could make this dream a reality. And so it was through a rather rigorous grant proposal and interview process that we were able to secure funding and be part of the Cultural Olympiad and bring this dream to reality.
Well, I began working with the Arts Umbrella almost 10 years ago in the dance department. I was brought in as a guest artist to create a composition for the senior ballet class, and I was working with Emily Molnar at the time, and we created a piece called Once, which ended up being performed more than once. It ended up becoming part of the repertoire of that dance company, and Emily and I were both really struck by the amazing experience it was, not only for us as artists, but also for the kids to be allowed the opportunity to work with creative, conceptual, professional artists, and to be a part of the collaborative process, not just to do their part or play their role, but to actually be a part of the creative collaboration, to be a part of the conceptualization, to bring their own ideas and to have a profound impact on the outcome of their art. And so for me, having the opportunity to create Kinesphere, it was a challenge to create something for our students who don't have a lot of experience in the contemporary world. And Sean Hounslow, the choreographer, and I sat down before we began our creative processes, and we discussed the fact that we really wanted the music to be contemporary.
I've just been completely inspired by this whole process. It's been such an experience to watch students who don't have a lot of access to a variety of music come together. Students who play piano and who sing and play percussion, who may not play together, come together and try on a new style. for example, contemporary music is not something that they normally do. It was really took them out of their comfort zone. And so for them to create and work together and come together as an ensemble has been magnificent to watch. And then to see them witness how their music inspired the dancers.
My name's Aiden, and in Kinesphere I am part of the choir, so I sing some parts and I also play the wine glasses.
Hi, my name's Sam, and I'm a percussionist in the Kinesphere project.
Hi, my name's Keito, and I'm one of the percussionists for Kinesphere.
My name is Matthew, and I play guitar.
My name is Janelle, and I'm in the Kinesphere choir.
Well, we get to do like spoken word, which is pretty cool, and oh yeah, body percussion. Like I said, wine glasses. Oh, and playing like wine glass rims and
Number grids.
number grids. Oh yeah. We have this really cool section where we're all saying different numbers at the same time and different like tonal intonations, and it sounds really cool, which is kind of like the spoken word part.
For me, working with the students, generating the material with the students obviously was rewarding because it's a particularly inspired group of young people. And in tangent with that was the experience of watching a young group of musicians synthesize a score. And inevitably what came out of it, probably the most satisfying thing, is watching how those two individual universes intersected in a way that probably was less premeditated and more spontaneous in terms of a collective. So that probably, in a broad sense, was the most satisfying part of the project, was watching how a collective of energies, of young energies, can produce a greater whole.
Hi, I'm Lavana Ellis. I'm with the Arts Umbrella Dance Company, and in Sean Hansel's piece Kinesphere I am part of the group sections and I have a solo section, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm one of the dancers in Kinesphere.
My name is Clea, and I'm one of the dancers in Kinesphere.
Hi, my name's Jed. I'm a dancer in Kinesphere.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm one of the dancers in Kinesphere.
Apart from ballet class, we never do shows or rep with any live music, or I haven't to date. So it has its challenges, but it's so much more exciting because both aspects are alive, and you can feel that. They're both moving, so yeah.
You learn a lot by dancing with live musicians because it makes you more aware of your surroundings and even the dancers around you, just because you have your ear listening closer to the music.
I guess there's the element of the unknown because the musicians are in control in a way, because we have musical cues that we follow and the way the movement fits into the piece. But at the same time, there's a different sense of energy because we're dancing with the music instead of having a background sound that we just do our music to, or our movement to.
Well, it's definitely not my first time working with live musicians, but this is probably different than anything I've ever experienced because most of the scores have been either jazz or like classical. So yeah, this is very different. It's a lot of different feels, so it influences the dance different. So yeah, I actually kind of like it more than either the jazz or the contemporary because of the effect that the two can play off of each other a bit more.
As an educator, I really wanted to create an opportunity for students to learn about contemporary music, because we learn a lot about pop music and classical music and those kinds of music here, but we don't get the chance to create really often left field, strange, weirdo, crazy music. So it was a really fun time for me to have a chance to teach the kids about number grids, teach the kids about improvisation, teach them about what conceptualization is, how to take concept and turn it into a creative process.
When we first heard it, we didn't actually know that it was our music. Sean would just play a variety of pieces of music when we started creating the material. And so we'd heard it a couple times without knowing that it was our music, and then once we found out it was ours, our movement started to fit with it. There was an inevitability to it. It became really comfortable and natural for the music and the dancing to fit together.
I love it. It's great because it goes with exactly the kind of movement we're doing, which is kind of like random and a bit different, but it's really beautiful at the same time, and it's got so many different elements to it. Like when we first heard the music, everybody loved it, and it's an interesting piece of music to work with because of all the different dynamics.
Well, especially this program, we work a lot with very contemporary music. So it was, again, really inspirational to the work, and our dance always stems off of what we feel when we listen to the music. And in this particular case, there's a lot of vocals, which makes it very lyrical in a sense in some sections, and then there's also very percussive parts, which aids in creating a very dynamic movement.
I really, I'm used to Gordon Cobb's music, and it does, to a normal person, it might sound random, but I like, it's kind of like a landscape of different sounds, and then you've got a, melody coming in and consistent rhythms and stuff, and then it changes, so I enjoyed dancing to that music.
Well, when I heard the music, because I heard it was going to be live musicians, I was trying to picture what all the musicians, first of all, what all the instruments were, and then trying to piece together how they would move and operate their instrument, and then trying to see if that could correspond into my dancing, trying to, just playing around with stuff until the actual band got in here. The recording was really limiting. There wasn't as much power behind the music, and it wasn't as free and exposed. Whereas when the musicians came, it was very powerful and not really in your face, but more just really rich and out there. It was very good.
So guys, they were a little bit fast for that section, so I'm going to try it at 160, and if it's too fast, I'm going to take it down, okay? Just mark it one more time. Claudia, he's going to add an extra 4 at the end, an extra cycle, so you can take it at your slow tempo. Do you want to go from the beginning of Rise of the Kinesphere? Let's just take it from the, sure. Is that the last section? Yeah, well, let's take it from beginning of the last section. Jessica and Chris, don't do that last back bend. because she doesn't have time to, so you can just disengage before that last, let me see, where would you, yeah, do that position, right? Yeah, exactly. And then just disengage there, right? Cool.
You learn a lot by dancing with live musicians because it makes you more aware of your surroundings and even the dancers around you, just because you have your ear listening closer to the music.
It's been quite different because usually when you work with a CD, it's not going to change and you can play with your dance and compared to the music because it's set, and so you can either go before a certain section of the music or afterwards. But with a live ensemble, you have to be pretty consistent because they might be taking cues off of you, or you have to just be consistent.
Just having more people in the room and just the energy of everyone around you gives more energy to the dancing.
Seeing the level of musicianship grow in this group, they've really had to draw from within themselves to realize this piece. Many students are on individual parts, and when we come from a culture of group playing, group piano, group guitar, and all of a sudden these students are on their own instrument and on their own part, it really becomes about self-realization and having to draw upon themselves, and also to lean on others. Ensembly, it's a very tricky piece, and they have to be listening and understanding how their parts fit together. So to see them grow in that way over the last few weeks has been remarkable.
Okay, we're doing it in 8 notes. Yeah. Okay, in quarter notes, you guys, here we go.
And Gordon, why don't we do it? Why don't you guys let a 12 go? Are they mic'd?
Yeah.
So maybe just closer.
Yeah.
Okay, let a 12 go by and then start. Okay? So 12 for nothing and then start.
7 now.
Okay.
7, 12, and 1.
7 sets. So they can't hear you? Note to selves. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1.
we experimented with balloons and wine glasses, and we bowed vibraphones. I tried to do things that I know these students don't get to do very often, or I tried to think of things that I know they've never done before to expand their understanding of what music and sound and art can be. And I think that we've been very successful in creating something that is both unique and has artistic integrity, but is also very functional. It has built into it all of the sound cues that you need for dance and all of the sound cues that you need for an ensemble that is molding and shaping through a piece of music that is both conventional music and soundscape. So I think that these kids have been given a vision of a much greater world of music and art and what that can be.
Certainly there's the most obvious consideration is that is resonance. Just like bodies in space, there's a kinetic exchange. Music, live music, bodies producing sound, interacting with bodies producing movement, obviously has a significance in terms of the overall resonant effect, because the basic component part at the source is the human energy.
Well, I think it was, it kind of pushed the limits and like the boundaries. When people ask me what I'm doing, the first thing that came to my mind is I'm singing, but I'm not like, oh, I'm just singing a song, because I'm not singing a song. I'm like, exploring, especially like as a vocalist and for the other instruments. You think more of, instead of just strumming the guitar, you think of all these different sounds you can make, and with the voice, besides singing, all the different things you can do, because it's like the greatest instrument. And so the thing that was challenging was just kind of, discovering new things and like realizing, different, just learning new things, and it was, stepping outside the box pretty much.
Okay, the number grids are really weird. At first, it was I was like, that's kind of different. But once you actually hear it and you actually like get into it, it actually is kind of cool. And like hearing different people shout different numbers, not like, it's just really, I don't know, it's weird, but it's nice.
Well, working with all the other musicians and putting everything together, making it sound good, it turned out good.
Me and Sam were playing Imbira once outside of our private lessons here, and Gordon saw us playing it and he got really excited about it and asked us to bring it to the first practices, and then he put it into the songs, or the piece.
It was interesting. When I went into Kinesphere, I didn't really know what it was about, but I was really interested when I heard like the ambira and like all those different like piano sounds and the guitar sounds and everything. And as a vocalist, I don't really get to play many instruments or like, associate with them, but being able to, interact with guitars and see how they work and all that stuff was pretty interesting to me.
Well, the ideas that we started off with was really abstract, like the New York City and the Rising Kinesphere was kind of really different than what we usually play in music, because usually in music you play like 4/4 time and just add melodies and stuff. But this we were like adding like weird sounds and everything, which is really different.
They're really different because in the choir, I sing in the choir, and we don't ever do things like that. So having to do like the heartbeat section, for example, was really different for me, because like usually I'm following like a sheet of music or something, but it was really random and kind of not what I was really like used to. But going to something like that was really interesting, and I really liked the experience. It was different, and I really liked it.
Well, first of all, I thought it was really awesome because they're amazing dancers and they're all our age, and I was like, I wish I could dance like that. But I think it was just really cool because you think, like they told us, we made this piece of music together and then we sent it off, and we had never met them before. They'd never talked to us. We sent messages back and forth, but I'd never actually seen any of them face to face. And then they just it's like they found like a sanctuary in it, or like this different world, and they just like blossomed, and I think it brought the music to life, really, having this dance, because it was so cool, because I would have, so many of those things I would have never even thought about, and it's like it brought all this color and movement, obviously, but just like so much texture, and it just built it up that much more, and it was like two worlds coming together, and it was really awesome.
Well, when we first made the music, I never really thought what the dancing would be for the music, but then I guess it was like really abstract. So when you see the dancers and they're doing something really abstract, I guess that's kind of goes hand in hand with the music.
Well, yeah, I like how it works with the music when, like, there's one part when there's only a few on the stage, and then our part comes back in big, and then they all rush out and start doing something, and it looks really cool how it goes together.
I was thinking, well, my first thought was this choreographer really knows Gordon, or they kind of really get along, because when I was thinking ballet dancers, I was thinking ballet, but what I saw was like totally not what I thought ballet was. And at first I was intimidated by the dancers because I couldn't believe that what we made was so random came to be something so beautiful. And I don't know, it was really different, but I really liked it, and it was really different, it was really off, but it was really interesting as well, and I appreciated it. Yeah.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
And why?
I don't know, it was just different from what I expected. Usually when I see like or think of ballet or dance, it's more like just like jumping around, but this was a lot cooler than that. Yeah.
The choreographer was pretty cool, and like understanding the music and putting it into like a dance form or something. And yeah, it kind of, and he made it work really well. So.
In giving them the opportunity to learn and play music as part of a collaboration, as part of a team, they also get a glimpse into the world of what a working musician can do. There are so many more things that a musician can do than just play in a band or lay down tracks. They can work in a theater company, they can work in a dance company, they can be a live playing musician. And so what I'm trying and hoping to instill in these students is an idea of a future for music for them each as individuals. And this is something that was never provided for me as a young musician. It was never explained to me that you can make a career as a creative musician. It was always you become a teacher or you just do music recreationally. And so I'm hoping that these students, because they get to come and make a real piece of art that has a real purpose and has a real performance and has its own little piece of history, I'm hoping that they will consider pursuing careers in the arts. And that's ultimately what my goal is as a music educator and as an artist in general.
So Kira, you can be almost on quarter, right? For that, so let me see the 6 girls. Jen, Chris, wait. Let's go from the 3 girls. Just want to see if Chris mark through your solo, just to make sure you're gonna have enough space. So, boom, yes. The girls are coming in. Be careful of the traffic of Maya and Chris. He's back there, and let me see the spacing of the 6 girls. Who's in the Stephanie?
You know what? It was all relevant to the process, the energies, the work with the young people, and no particular favorite. I think really it became something that globally was just like stepping into an event and participating, and then stepping out of the event at the end. And I think probably the satisfaction is with the event, the event in its entirety.